The Islamic world has produced one of the most rich and influential literary traditions in human history, spanning over 1,400 years and dozens of languages. This tradition encompasses profound spiritual poetry, groundbreaking philosophy, epic tales, and pioneering science fiction. Here is a curated list of some of the greatest literary works, categorized for clarity. A. Foundational and classical Arabic works. The Quran, 7th century CE. Significance. The central religious text of Islam, considered by Muslims to be the literal word of God, Allah, as revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Its linguistic beauty, rhythmic prose, and poetic power are considered inimitable in Arabic. It has profoundly influenced the aesthetics, language, and literature of all Muslim cultures. 1001 Nights, Alf Layla wa Layla, 8th–14th century CE. Significance. A monumental work of folk literature that evolved over centuries, with roots in Persian, Indian, and Arab storytelling. Framed by the story of Scheherazade, it contains iconic tales like Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad the Sailor. It later profoundly influenced Western literature through translations. The Book of Songs, Kitab al-Aghani, by Abu al-Faraj al-Isfahani, 10th century CE. Significance. A massive 20-volume anthology that is a treasure trove of classical Arabic poetry, biographies of poets and musicians, and a cultural history of the early Islamic world. It's an essential source for understanding pre-Islamic and Umayyad Arab society. The Epistles of the Brethren of Purity, Rasai Ikhwan al-Safa, 10th century CE. Significance. An encyclopedia of 52 epistles written by a secretive group of philosophers in Basra. It synthesizes philosophy, science, mathematics, and theology, representing the peak of Islamic intellectualism and its attempt to harmonize reason and revelation. B. Persian masterpieces, the golden age of Islamic literature. Persian literature is arguably the crown jewel of the Islamic literary tradition, with its emphasis on Sufi mysticism and epic poetry. Shahnameh, the Book of Kings, by Ferdowsi, circa 977–1010 CE. Significance. Iran's national epic, a massive poetic work that recounts the history of the Persian Empire from its mythic beginnings to the Arab conquest. It preserved Persian language, culture, and mythology and is a masterpiece of world literature. The Masnavi, the Spiritual Couplets, by Jalaluddin Rumi, 13th century CE. Significance. Often called the Quran in Persian, this 6-volume poem is the foundational text of Sufism, Islamic mysticism. It's a collection of stories and parables exploring the soul's journey and its longing for union with the divine. Rumi is the best-selling poet in the United States today. The Divan of Hafiz by Hafiz, 14th century CE. Significance. A collection of lyric poems, ghazals, that is found in almost every Iranian home. His work is beloved for its profound beauty, complex symbolism, and themes of love, wine, and criticizing hypocrisy. People still use his divan for bibliomancy, Val-e-Hafiz, to seek guidance. The Conference of the Birds, Mantiq al-Tayr, by Feriduddin Atta, 12th century CE. Significance. A magnificent Sufi allegorical poem about the quest for God. Birds embark on a journey to find their mythical king, the Simera, only to discover a profound truth about themselves. It is a classic of world mystical literature. See philosophical and theological prose. The Incoherence of the Philosophers, Tahafut al-Falasifa, by al-Ghazali, 11th century CE. Significance. A landmark work of theology and philosophy where al-Ghazali critiques Neoplatonic philosophy, particularly that of Ibn Sina, Avicenna. It sparked centuries of debate and shaped the course of Islamic thought. The Ring of the Dove, Tawq al-Hamama, by Ibn Hazm, 11th century CE. Significance: a beautiful and insightful treatise on the art and nature of love, written in Arabic in Al-Andalus, Islamic Spain. It combines psychological insight, personal anecdote, and poetry, exploring both spiritual and earthly love. Later works from the Ottoman, Mughal, and modern eras. The Travels of Ibn Battuta, Rethlath, 14th century CE. Significance: the travelogue of a Moroccan scholar who traveled over 75,000 miles across Africa, the Middle East, India, and China. His accounts provide an unparalleled glimpse into the 14th century Islamic world and beyond. Poetry of Mirza Ghalib, 19th century CE. Significance: the premier poet of the Mughal Empire's twilight, writing in Urdu and Persian. His ghazals are celebrated for their philosophical depth, wit, and exploration of love, loss, and existential angst. He is a cultural icon in South Asia. My Name is read by Orhan Pamuk, 2000. Significance: a Nobel Prize-winning Turkish novelist, Pamuk's work is a masterpiece that explores the clash between East and West through a murder mystery set among 16th century Ottoman miniaturist painters. The Cairo Trilogy, Palace Walk, Palace of Desire, Sugar Street, by Naguib Mahfouz, 1956-1957. Significance: Mahfouz, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature, is the Arab world's most celebrated novelist. This trilogy follows 3 generations of a Cairo family across the first half of the 20th century, capturing the social and political transformation of Egypt. The Blind Owl by Sadegh Hedayat, 1937. Significance: a seminal work of modern Iranian literature and a classic of surrealist and existentialist fiction. Its dark, haunting, and stream of consciousness style was groundbreaking. This list is merely a starting point. The literary output of the Islamic world is vast, including the scientific works of Ibn Sina, Avicenna, the historical chronicles of Ibn Khaldun, the Muqaddimah, the love poetry of Nizami Ganjavi, Layla and Majnun, and countless others. This tradition remains vibrantly alive in the works of contemporary authors across the globe.